Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Chris and I run the woodworking YouTube channel Third Coast Craftsman, and behind me is going to be the brand new shop and the new home. Last year we bought this piece of property that had this nice 44 by 48 pole barn on it, and my wife and I, we sold our house and we're going to be finishing the upstairs and live up there for the next couple years while we build a timber frame house over on the other side of the property. We're out here on 13.5 acres. Been doing a ton of work to the shop to get it ready and to the upstairs. So we wanted to show you what's been going on out here. If you're new to the channel, this will be a good look into what it takes to turn a pole barn into a shop, all the different pieces. And for all my faithful followers that have been wondering what's been going on, it's going to be a great update. We're about halfway done, and then when we get finished, I'll show you the rest. So let's take a tour and see what I've been up to. All right, one of the most important and expensive parts of this project was getting water and sewer out here. So we have this water running from the road to the pole barn. It was about 300 feet or so. And then over here next to the barn is the septic tank. Luckily, I was able to put a septic tank and drain field in and didn't have to tie into the sewer system. And then I also decided to go with propane because, again, tying into the natural gas from the road was going to be hugely expensive. So that is a big piece of the puzzle. Now that the water is ran, that's part of my hot water heater. That's part of our radiant floor heat system, and just having water for all the bathrooms and kitchens. So that's a big deal. Glad to have that in, and now we got to go in and finish the inside so that we can get the water hooked up. One kind of cool thing is that all these boulders were in the ground. Wasn't probably fun for the excavators, but for me, kind of made some money back because all those big boulders, I don't know how much you would spend at a landscaping place, but I'll bet you about at least 500 bucks. And I'll be able to use those for landscaping or making little retention walls or different things like that. So that was kind of a bonus. Over here is the septic field. There's the clean out port for the septic tank, and over here is the drain field. And luckily I have really good soil here. It's really sandy, and then about 3 feet down it's actually gravel and boulder. So the sanitarian who came out thought it was awesome soil, so I didn't have to do a mound or anything like that. We put some sleeves over the pipe going from the barn to the septic tank because I'm going to be building a driveway that comes out next to the lean-to. The lean-to will be right here. Be building an open air lean-to or porch. You can see the footings that I had poured, and to the left of it I want to extend a driveway so that we can get up and down the deck. There also used to be a pine tree right here. I have a local tree nursery place that was able to transplant that near the entrance of the property, and I was able to save that tree and kind of use that as a barrier. I do have some kind of neighbors over here, and I plan on planting a lot of pine trees to create some privacy. One of the biggest projects out here was building this second story deck here on the back of the barn. There was a door at the front of the barn, but I didn't like the way that looked, so I took that door out. I framed and sheathed that, and then I also centered the window. There was an offset little window up there. I brought in a bigger window, centered it, and I'm going to do cedar shake siding on the front. That's going to be a project, and that's going to be a video. I'm doing a bunch of individual videos on this build, so there'll be a video on the deck, there'll be a video on replacing the windows. I also removed all the siding and put house wrap on it. So when I was cutting out the bigger openings for the windows, I decided to take the siding off, put the house wrap on it, which is the proper way to do it. When you're heating an inside space, you'll have cold condensation on that outside metal, and you'll cause problems if you don't have a barrier between your OSB sub-sheathing there and that outer metal siding. So it was a pain in the butt, but I just had to do it the right way. So I took everything off, sheathed it, and then I'm putting everything back on. I also put a sliding door up top there, another window up top, and we're gonna be putting everything back on, and I'll be done with that. I'm also replacing all the trim and fascia and soffit that was white with black to match the windows, and with that wood cedar shake front, it's gonna look really good, and I'll have a lot of wood timber frame looking porch lean-to over here, and that's gonna look really good too. I had to show you this thing. I just got this a couple days ago. I'm super excited about it. It's a John Deere 4044M, and I have a lot of big jobs to do out here. For one, we're building a timber frame house, and so I'm going to be having to move maybe around 100 beams to build that house, for positioning them to cut them and then putting the bents together and moving things around. So this is going to be super important, and I went up to this size because it could lift about 1,000 pounds more than the next frame size down, and it's about 1,000 pounds heavier. And then I filled the tires, which added another 1,300 pounds. So it's a beast. I've already been playing with it a little bit. And another major task I have is going to be building a driveway, and I have about 300 feet to the road that way. I want to extend the driveway and kind of do something different there, almost following that water line, and then about 600 feet back to the house that way. So that's a pretty big task. That would cost me a lot with an excavating company. You have to peel all the topsoil off, put sand down, then put your gravel. It'll take me some time with this. They would be able to do it a lot faster than me, but I'll be able to save myself a lot of money, which essentially helps pay for this thing. And these things hold their value so well. Right now it's year end for the tractors and things, or at least John Deere, so I got some really good incentives to buy it and things like that. So we're really excited to have this guy around here on the property, and going to be doing a lot of fun work, and I'll be showing you that stuff too. I want to stop real quick and thank this video's sponsor, Mr. Heater. Well, right now it's 32 degrees out here this morning. I still don't have heat, insulation, and I'm several weeks from that still. I'm actually really glad I have this thing. We're gonna fire it up, help keep me warm. And the thing I'm really excited about is this little cooktop. So I had to run out the door real early this morning and didn't get my coffee. So I'm gonna make some coffee, have hot coffee all day, and also gonna make some bacon later. So actually gonna make it a lot of fun out here working today. So we're gonna get this thing fired up and see how it works. Unlike the original Mr. Heater Buddy, this new Buddy Flex is even better because it has a cylinder-shaped heating pad that will heat 180 degrees around it. It's also certified safe for indoor use, so you can use it in your shop, in a tent or camper while out camping. You can use it in a hunting blind or a fishing shack, or even in your house if you end up losing power or something. It also has an accessory port for their new cooktop, and apparently Mr. Heater is also adding additional accessories later on that you can hook to that port. It also has some nice clips on that cooktop so you can attach it to the heater and carry it with you wherever you want to go. There's a link to this new Mr. Heater Buddy Flex down in the description, so make sure you go check it out, and big thank you to Mr. Heater for making this video possible. So good. All right, here we are in our new home, the space above the pole barn here. It is 15 by 48 long, so that's about 720 square feet, I think. It's gonna be really tight and cozy, that's for sure, but it's gonna be a really fun adventure. So this is gonna be the living room area right here. I put that big slider and big window to let as much light as we can. We have knee walls, so we can't put any windows along the side. There's just one window and a bedroom back there. But this will be our little living room right here. It's much smaller than what we were currently living in, which had a nice, comfortable home. But this right here is gonna be the kitchen. That little half wall will be a countertop, kind of bar top type of thing. And we'll have our sink, dishwasher, and one cupboard here. We'll have fridge, range, and another cupboard. And the nice thing about the knee walls is that we can build in all sorts of drawers and cupboards and cabinets into the wall. So we'll have our pantry and a little shelf for a coffee maker or whatever. And this is going to be where we have our bedroom. This wall doesn't go all the way across. It's going to be a bed right here. And we figured the kids can go in the bedroom, and they can go to bed before us, and we can still be out here. So we figured that we would be just fine having the bedroom here that's open to the rest of the room, and our little bathroom over here. And this is where the door used to be back behind it. Close that off, and you can see where the other window used to be right there too. half of it, and now I have a nice big centered window. So this is going to be the upstairs. The electricians and the plumbers, those are two of the contractors that I hired out, obviously. And I'm really glad the electricians have done an awesome job. Super, super good crew. Moving right along in here. Next is insulating everything and getting some drywall up. I'm going to be hiring a drywaller, and I'll be helping him to get all the drywall in. All right, here we are inside the new shop. I have a concrete floor radiant system that I installed myself. Obviously had a concrete company come in, but I installed all that radiant. That will be a video. And the combi boiler, which will be powering the radiant system and provide our hot water, will be in that little utility room that's going to have my dust collection system, probably an air compressor, a toilet, a sink, and we're going to have our washer and dryer in there for the time being. And then when we move to the new house, we'll take the washer and dryer with us. But I had the electricians put 220 and 110 on each one of the posts. And that is going to be my power tool side of the shop over there. And then on this side of the shop, I have 110 ran over here, but this will be where all my hand tool stuff is. And then I have a lot of space in the middle. So it's going to be really awesome. And back there, if you maybe saw on Instagram a long time ago, I'll probably put a picture here. I got a really cool wood burning stove, this antique one called the Elm. It's beautiful. I'll be setting that up back there in kind of my little like R&R corner. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be painting this door white, and I have a replacement black garage door to match all the other black windows and doors. And the top two sections of that 5-panel garage door will have windows in it, so I'll get a lot of light coming in there too. And I absolutely love these windows. They just look so nice. They bring a lot more light. They're actually tinted, which I didn't know when I first ordered them. So they kind of have a little bit of a UV tint to them, which I don't know if I completely like yet. I kind of wanted a little bit more light coming in, but it actually might help in the end with filming, because sometimes light coming in and out can be a bear. Speaking of lighting, these fixtures that I got with Econolight are awesome. I'll be able to just wire a drop right here at the beginning. You know, have rows that run out this way, but I only have to put one drop in, and they can be daisy chained myself. So I save a lot of money from the electricians by only having one drop at each location, and then I can run the rest of them, and they're super easy to install, so I'm excited about that. So I originally thought about running the radiant tubing up underneath the apartment up there for heat, but I decided, after talking to some people, for one, that was going to be a pain in the butt to install, and then I still have the problem of cooling that space up there. Not so worried down here. I can deal with it being a little warm. I'll have all these windows to be able to open up, put some fans in here. I'll be just fine. But upstairs, it's going to get hot. And so I decided to go with a mini split system. And originally, I was going to maybe have a professionally installed one. And after doing some research and looking at how expensive they were, and then how much it was to have an installer come and do that, and really what the installer did, it was going to cost $2,000 for an HVAC person to install this. And it's a relatively easy, much easier than I think the combi boiler is, with all the components that I need to put together for that, for the radiant system. And I found this company, Mr. Cool, and doing research, there's a bunch of really good reviews on them, and it's a DIY system. And so I also got a system that was slightly bigger than what was needed for that space up there. This one's 24,000 BTU unit, and what was recommended for that square footage up there was the 18,000 version. So I think I should be just fine. But anyways, basically you have an outdoor unit, a unit that mounts up on the wall, and it's ductless, which is really nice. Makes it really, really easy. For any kind of small space or garage, I think these are awesome systems, and I kind of wish I would have known about these, or maybe put one in my old shop. But anyway, I think this is going to be a great solution for upstairs. So I would love to spray foam this whole building, but that was with everything else that I've had to spend money on. Right now, materials are through the roof, and it's just bleeding me dry. I don't know if it's coronavirus or the hurricanes and fires, but materials are killing me right now. So spray foam wasn't going to happen. It probably wasn't going to happen even if materials were cheap. I think it was going to be like $10,000 or something in here. So what I'm going to do is use 4-foot batt insulation. I got 8-foot posts. So I'm going to put a 2x6 between there and 4-foot insulation batts, and then I'll run my purlins horizontally across the front of the 2x6s and the 6x6s. Give me a nice rigid wall, then I'll screw my plywood to that. And what I'm going to do though is go around all the corners, around all the windows and all the nooks and crannies that are hard to get batting in there, and spray it with this little spray foam kit. You can get these at Menards, Home Depot, Lowe's. So I'm going to be spraying all the corners and nooks and crannies with this stuff, and then I'll put my batting in. If you have any experience with anything that I'm doing in here, any recommendations, tips or tricks, things that you would do if it was your shop or if you've already done, let me know. If you've thought about a wood shop and what would be a good ideal layout, different things like that, please let me know. I'm trying to think of everything, and I'm not a professional builder, so a lot of this stuff I'm researching as I go. I would love to get any input from you as to how to make this thing perfect. So thanks a bunch, and we'll see you hopefully the next video. I'll be giving you a tour. You'll be seeing lots of videos of doing all these projects as I go, but the next kind of update on this shop I hope to be really close to finish. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.